evening. I'm very happy to be here tonight to introduce you to the 2016 Teacher of the Year candidates from Ponca City Public Schools. But before I do that, I do want to talk to you about our teaching staff. You heard Betsy, you heard Diane, you heard Carrie all say that we have fabulous teachers in this district. And hands down, without a doubt, we have the hardest working teachers in the state of Oklahoma, probably even in the universe. I have the opportunity to work with these teachers regularly as the Director of Human Resources. I supervise some of these teachers as the principal. I've been in their classrooms over and over again. I see how hard they work, and all of our teachers work very hard to make a difference for our kids. So, in reality, we could actually have 388 Teacher of the Year nominees today, because that's how many teachers we have working for us, and all of them are fabulous. I also see that we have many past Building Teachers of the Year and District Teachers of the Year in the audience. If you have served as a Teacher of the Year in this district before, would you please stand so we can recognize you? The evening, which I think is fun, we are going to introduce the candidates for this year's Teacher of the Year. If you will make your way to the front of the building, candidates, that would be great now. And while they're making their way to the front, we are going to introduce our candidates and present them with a trophy and present them with a gift bag. And presenting the gift bags today, we have Mr. Marvin Clark. Marvin is our board president, our Board of Education president. We have Mrs. Barbara Cusick. She is our executive director of curriculum. And we have Mr. Doug Stafford. He is our special services director. So give them a big round of applause. When I introduce the candidates, I am going to share some quotes that their students provided in regard to their teacher. And as I was typing up these quotes, it occurred to me that not one student mentioned an effective, research-based best practice that these teachers were using in their classroom. Not one of the students mentioned how well their students performed on state tests. What the students did mention was how they made them feel and the relationship that they had with them. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first Teacher of the Year candidate, Miss Denise Baldwin. Denise, if you'll come forward. Denise teaches 5th grade at Garfield Elementary, and this is what Vanessa said about you, Denise. My teacher, Mrs. Baldwin, is a very spectacular teacher. She has transformed me into an outgoing person. Before I came into her room, I was very shy. She taught me to be friendly to others, even though some are not too friendly to me. She also taught me how to have expression and enthusiasm when I read. I love her so much. This is what Lydia added. Mrs. Baldwin tells life stories about what we are learning, which helps me understand. Zoe commented, Mrs. Baldwin has helped me excel in reading. At the beginning of the year, I was behind in reading, and I didn't like that too much. Because of Mrs. B, I am now in advanced reading. Also, she has a lot of enthusiasm. When the class doesn't want to do something, she always finds a way to get us to do what she wants us to do. I think she's the best teacher ever, and ever was capitalized, all letters. Casey said, Ms. Baldwin always has a smile on her face. When I am sad, Mrs. Baldwin helps me to overcome it. Mrs. Baldwin tells personal stories that make me want to be just like her. She pushes me to be the very best. And finally, Austin said, when I came into 5th grade, Mrs. Baldwin helped me be a better person and a better student. I used to hate math, but now I enjoy it because we have fun while learning in Ms. Baldwin's class. Congratulations, Denise. Our next candidate is Ms. Dana Castleman. Dana teaches second grade at Lincoln Elementary. Dana Addison said that you remind her of the Oklahoma City Thunder because just like Kevin Durant helps his teammates, you help them learn. Now, Ms. Castleman's a big Thunder fan. She's got her orange and blue corsage on, I just noticed too. Her room is often decorated in Thunder colors as well. Kimberly said, Ms. Castleman is funny and nice. She makes all of our learning fun. Aiden said, she teaches us cool stuff about science. Once we even got to eat our projects. But don't worry, it only involves apples. Oscar even wrote a poem for you, Miss Castleman. Here's the poem. She is so sweet, like a candy treat. For a second grade teacher, she can't be beat. And finally, Malachi said, Mrs. Castleman is a great teacher. She is smart, caring, kind, helpful, and really nice. Congratulations to you, Dana. Next we have Katie Schelp, and Katie is the music teacher at Roosevelt Elementary. Sarah said that Ms. Schelp is very good with her students. She is loyal to her students, and she is also loyal to music. She deals with obstacles and keeps on teaching. She has a passion for music and is the best music teacher in the world. You probably never have obstacles, do you, Katie? Colt said, we play colored games with Ms. Schelp. Every day she gets another game to move to. Jaden said, we get to play with puppets and we make them talk to other puppets. And finally, Abby added, Ms. Schelp teaches us how to play a lot of different instruments. Congratulations to you, Katie. Next, we have Rudonna Bailey. Rudonna Bailey represents Trout Elementary. She teaches second grade. And Rudonna Jackson said that in Miss Bailey's class, we get to play math racing on the iPads during center time. Landry said she lets us read to her every single day. Good job, Miss Bailey. AJ said Miss Bailey is a great teacher. She doesn't get mad that much. She knows what people need and what they don't need. Cadence said Miss Bailey teaches us multiplication, and no other second graders do multiplication. Sarah said excitedly, Mrs. Bailey lets us read with phones at her table, and I'm assuming these are those phonic phones, right, Rudonna? Congratulations, Rudonna. We're proud of you. Our next representative is Ms. Cindy Johndrow, and Cindy teaches third grade at Woodlands. Cindy, Emily says, I wish Ms. Johndrow were a kid, and we could be best friends. But we're pretty good friends anyway. Victoria said, she teaches me a lot of things that I didn't know while I was living in Russia. And she always tells me I do good on tests. Oh, and we had a hot chocolate party. Alex said she tells really good stories about when she was growing up. Like one time she came home from school and looked in the pot to see what was for dinner, and there was a cow tongue cookie. Did you eat that, Cindy? Oh, okay, she didn't. Skylar said she's kind and she cheers me up a lot. I can't stop smiling about her because she's so sweet and funny. Luna said I like her because she is so happy, and every time I feel sad, she fills my heart with gladness. Congratulations to you, Cindy. Next we have Kelly Ford. Kelly teaches special education mathematics at West Middle School. Samantha said that Mrs. Ford is easy to understand and you're a little bit funny when you get aggravated. aggravated. Justice said she's a good teacher and she should stick with teaching math. She's really fun in class, actually. DJ said she's pretty, she's cool, and she's awesome. Jacob even mentioned that Mrs. Ford is really nice. She is very patient when we need help. And finally, Sierra commented, she's a good teacher and tries to help us the best that she can. Congratulations to you, Kelly. Our next candidate is also from West Middle School and is Ms. Donya Gartside. Donya teaches 6th grade geography at West. Sabrina said that Ms. Gartside's class is amazing. I love that she's creative and funny. I like going to her class because there is always something fun to do. Haley S. said, I love Ms. Gartside's class. She is great at explaining how to do things. She also has a tendency to make us laugh. We always learn new things from her, but she learns stuff from us too. Miss Gartside, I bet you do. Miss Gartside is the best geography teacher around, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the year brings. Haley B. said, Miss Gartside makes learning fun with her awesome ideas. I enjoy being a part of the Dominican Republic Google Hangout. It was cool and fun. It was a cool and fun experience. It was also fun to do the Google Hangout with Mrs. Rhodes' daughter who lives in Canada. We do lots of fun things in Miss Gartside's class. Oh, and this was a special message to you. All of your navigators love you, Miss Gartside. And finally, Dominique said, Miss Gartside is a great teacher. I don't know what I would do without her. She always has a bright smile and makes learning fun. I'm really glad I met her. And he ends by saying, love you, Miss Gartside. That's sweet. Congratulations to you. We have our East representative next, Ms. Carole Keffer, and Carole teaches English language learners. She works throughout the district, but our home school is East. And Joanna said, every day you come to work with a smile. Eric said, Ms. Keffer knows how to explain English in Spanish. Got to witness that on the video. Julian mentioned that you're super nice and that he really likes you a lot. Elias said, if we don't understand, she explains well. And Paola said, she tries to help all of us. Congratulations to you, Carole. Next, we have our representatives from Ponca City High School. And I have that Mr. Grimes is next, but Mr. Grimes, if you'll come on forward. Mr. Grimes teaches science at the high school. He teaches geology, general physics, and chemistry. Mr. Grimes, Jean said that you are a teacher that grabs your attention in class with your teachery methods. He is always helping if needed. Landon added, Mr. Grimes is not just a teacher. He inspires me to gain knowledge in the subject of chemistry. He makes learning fun. Aaron stated, Mr. Grimes is one of the best teachers I have ever had. He always makes sure that everyone understands the material. Plus, he has a great sense of humor. Then Jean followed up with, Mr. Grimes has always made science fun, even thermodynamics. With his wonderful teaching, I would not have been prepared for AP Biology. And finally, Jessica said, Mr. Grimes is always able to relate anything he says in something even easier to understand. And that's what makes a good teacher, you know that, Mr. Grimes. He always jokes around and is an all-around great person. Congratulations to you. Also from Trout, Miss Krystina Muralt. Sarah had this to say, Mrs. Muralt is one of the best teachers that I have ever had. She helps me understand math, but she does it in another way. She makes jokes and she messes with you. But there is no way you can't love Mrs. Muralt. Hannah added, Mrs. Muralt has helped me with my understanding of math. I've never been very good at math, but this year I have learned more in her class than any of my other classes. She makes math fun for me. I am always looking forward to her class. She so deserves this award more than any other. Julissa wanted to let you know this, Krystina. I just want to thank you for making my brain work. I used to hate math. Now it's my favorite class. Nikki added, last year I took this class and didn't do very well because I just didn't get it. This year, Mrs. Muralt taught it in such a way it was easy for me to understand. You might even say that I'm excelling in math now. Brett ended with some wise words. It takes a small match and a bundle of sticks to make a big fire. The students are the sticks, and Mrs. Muralt is the match. Congratulations to you. Next we have Rustin Storie, and Rustin Storie teaches social studies at Marland Children's Home. Rustin, Elizabeth said, Mr. Storie is very cool. He explains things to us and he shows us respect. We show respect back to him too. Kiara said, Mr. Storie is a really good teacher. He breaks it down so we can understand. If we don't understand, he keeps explaining until we do. Oh, and he brings us things like donuts. Erica said, he's super cool. He knows how to teach and he makes sure we understand. Lacey mentioned that he teaches us stuff that really matters. He makes sense when he explains things to us, and he's super smart. And finally, Ashley said, Mr. Storie is an amazing, smart person and has a great personality. He has helped me when things get hard. He does not know how much I appreciate him. Good job, Rustin. And next I want to introduce our 3 finalists for Teacher of the Year to you. If you notice, we only have 2 finalists standing there. Christie Brown was not able to attend tonight. She called me actually yesterday morning, and she is sponsoring a vocal music trip for her kids, her personal children, to San Antonio. And she had personal business requested last year for this trip. But she wanted me to let you know that she does not discount this honor. She is so pleased to be here. She was so torn. They've raised money for this trip for about a year, but yet she wanted to be here too. So Christie's not with us tonight, and at the end of our presentations, I'm going to have her principal, Ms. Jill Henderson, accept her trophy and her bag. But I want to tell you what Christie's students said about her. Jamie said that Mrs. Brown taught our class to be bucket fillers and read the book to us too. Taylor said she is very nice and very pretty. She even teaches us math too. Jaden said she's nice and she teaches math really good. And Mackenzie added, she taught us about George Washington. You know, he loved his country. And Tabron concluded with, even if it is the worst day, she makes it the best day ever. So in honor of Christie, give her a round of applause. That when she was nominated by her site, her peers at Liberty, she told them, you all might want to choose someone else because I'm not going to be able to be at the banquet. And this was before she even knew she was a finalist. But the teachers at Liberty thought Mrs. Brown was the perfect selection for Teacher of the Year. And they said, nope, we want you to be our representative, whether you're at the banquet or not. So, with that being said, I'll introduce the 2 finalists that are here. Next we have Jennifer Dye. Jennifer teaches pre-kindergarten at Union Elementary. And this is what Caitlin said. Caitlin likes you, Miss Dye, because she likes to hug you. And Heaven said you always wear cute shirts. Lillian said, I like that she teaches a lot. Aubrey said, I like her classroom a lot and I like the way she reads to us. And finally, Caleb said, I like the computers, but I love Mrs. Dye. Congratulations to you, Jennifer. And our third finalist is Mr. Dan Larson. He is the Pohai Orchestra instructor. This is what Landon said, Mr. Larson. Mr. Larson is not just a teacher to me. He has served as a role model in my life for all the years I have known him. He is truly a special man with great integrity. Giant said, Mr. Larson is truly a mighty man of valor. Ask him anything and he will help with no further questions asked. He's like a father to me, and being my music teacher is just a bonus of having him around. Mitchell said, to me, Mr. Larson is the perfect teacher. He cares deeply about his students and their lives. Every single day in class, he pushes us to be the best players that we can be. Not only does he want us to be better players, but he also wants us to be better people, morally. Mr. Larson is everything the Teacher of the Year should be. Eliza had this to say. Not only is Mr. Larson our teacher, but he is also our mentor and our biggest hero. Orchestra is our home away from home, and it wouldn't be that without Mr. Larson there to guide and encourage us. And finally, Miracle had this to say. Mr. Larson is one of those teachers that you rarely encounter in high school. He is not only a gifted and passionate teacher, but he cares and helps any and all students who may need it. It is one thing to be able to pull over 100 wild high school students together to play one piece of music, but it is the ultimate gift to be able to fill their hearts with emotion that reads to the audience. Playing under the direction of Mr. Larson is a great accomplishment for me within itself. Aside from learning the art of playing the violin, I have learned so many life lessons and inspirations that I will keep with me for the rest of my life. Heartfelt words, Mr. Larson. Congratulations.
You know, I can always tell them at home because everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. When I was in San Diego a couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to present the Superintendent of the Year Award. And we got out there and it was time to present the award and there was no envelope. And they had to come backstage to bring the envelope out. So again, and it's always very well taped because they know that if I find out early, I can't keep a secret. So they make it as hard as possible for me to get into this. And so the winner of the public school or our Teacher of the Year for 2015-16 is Christie Brown.
Ms. Jill Henderson. And at this time, I would like to have Patsy Williams come forward. Patsy is representing the Ponca City Public School Foundation, and she has an award for Ms. Brown.
On behalf of the Ponca City Public School Foundation, I'd like to present this check to Christie Brown.
Dr. Sperry, is Dr. Sperry here tonight? Here he is. He is a fabulous friend to education and to Ponca City Public Schools. And Dr. Sperry Baldwin's Newkirk Dental Center, and he has a special presentation for Ms. Brown.
On behalf of myself and the team up at the dental center, as a small token of our appreciation, we have a $500 gift to show our appreciation for all she does for all of our kids here in the area.
Finally, we have a citation from Senator Eddie Fields. He is not here this evening. He could not be here, but he wanted this citation read. Whereas among the most honorable and noble professions is that of an educator of young people, a profession to which all too few are called. And Christie Brown is an excellent example of such an educator, serving as an inspiration to her students, fellow educators, and the community with her dedication and enthusiasm as a classroom teacher. The Oklahoma State Legislature hereby commends Christie Brown as the 2016 Teacher of the Year for the Ponca City School District in Ponca City, Oklahoma. And actually, this citation comes from Senator Eddie Fields and Representative Stephen Vaughn. Flowers for Ms. Brown. We actually have two bouquets up here. The other one is for Diane Anderson, our outgoing Teacher of the Year. So Diane, if you'll come forward. She has been a great ambassador for our district this year. When we knew that Christie wasn't going to be here, we had her take an acceptance speech just in case she won. None of us knew. We had her come down, and we are going to play that for you now.
Good evening, Ponca City friends. If I were there with you tonight, I'd probably just have 3 words. Oh, my stars. If you know me, I'm sure you've heard that before. And if you don't know me, you're lucky because I have my words ready, just in case I wasn't there tonight. I really can't believe that I've been given the privilege to serve as the District Teacher of the Year for Ponca City. It gives me so much joy to be honored by people who mean so much to me. I'm deeply saddened I'm not there with you tonight, but I know that everyone there will understand my absence. My daughter Megan is a senior, my son Blake is a freshman, and I'm in sunny San Antonio right now serving as a trip sponsor. We've been planning for a long time to be together, and I know this is a chance that will surely not happen again for my family and for my children. I'm with you all in spirit tonight, and my absence makes me sad, but I hope it doesn't diminish any of my feelings and your feelings about how delighted I am to represent the wonderful teachers of Ponca City. Thank you to the Professional Development Committee for organizing this night. Thank you for reading our portfolios and earnestly listening to all of our final interviews. It was a treasure to have a willing audience to listen to all the things that we feel about education and teaching. Thank you to the committee who organized and planned the details to make the night special. It's a blessing for all the teachers in our district, and I'm sure that every decoration and item on the menu was perfect. Thank you to our leadership at the Board of Education. Your constant guidance and support doesn't go unnoticed. Your efforts to keep Ponca City schools focused and moving forward in the right direction are really remarkable. My Liberty friends, I love you guys. I wish I was there to sit at the front table with you all this year. It's my absolute privilege to work with each one of you. I'm pleased to have the chance tonight to remind Ponca City what an amazing staff we have, what a great place Liberty Elementary is. You're the heart and soul of Liberty, the reason that our kids feel so loved and learn so much every day. To my teaching partner, Tiffany Hunt, it's no secret to most people here that we have an amazing team. I hope you truly know how blessed I am to work with you. I hope you know that I appreciate when I can't make things happen, you can. We think about all the details of our teaching together, and you lift me up when times are tough. Our partnership truly means the world to me. To my Liberty students, past and present, you're so special to me, and I'm lucky to have the chance to spend so much time with you. You've filled my bucket with sweet words and deeds. You've helped me become a great teacher. You are the reason that I love teaching. To my family, Chad, Megan, and Blake, I could never explain how much it means to me that you understand how much I love teaching. I'm thankful every time you listen to my school stories. I'm thankful when you ask about my day. I'm very glad to know that when I say my kids, you get it. You know I have 26 first grade friends, and I love them with all my heart every day. But the three of you, I'll love forever. Without you, I could never be here tonight, so thank you for your support. As I thought about a short message to share tonight, I thought about a quote that I used in my portfolio. Be a light, a lifeboat, or a ladder. I think in our profession, we have to be prepared every day to be ambassadors for public education. In our community, our homes, and even our schools, we must be ready to share the joy that comes from doing this job that we love, doing the kind of work we do every day. We must share the realities with people who just don't understand, invite people to come to our classrooms, convey the challenges that we boldly face every day. Be prepared to tell others why you love your job. Shine a light on your staff, your students, and take time to explain to other people how they can support education for our children. A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. We must be prepared to embrace this role and be a light for education. We must also look for ways to help one another, mentor beginning teachers, and nourish our coworkers. I can think of many times I needed a lifeboat, and it came in the form of encouraging words from my principal, a positive PLC, a mentoring session with a friend, a note in my mailbox, maybe even a chocolate or a cherry Coke. You may not realize the impact you can make for another teacher by offering a little bit of yourself. I promise that by giving some of those good feelings away, you'll feel a positive difference in return. Be a difference maker, a mentor, a bucket filler. Be a lifeboat for someone. In addition, we should constantly be looking ways for get to the top. We have to stay committed to shifting change in education, providing rigorous learning opportunities for students, monitoring student growth, and instilling a love of learning will keep us on the ladder to success. We have to be committed to data-driven instruction, reflective teaching, and quality education. With demands greater than ever, we have to stay committed to climbing the ladder of success straight to the top. I hope that as you leave tonight, you have a plan in your heart about a way that you can be a light, a lifeboat, or a ladder for someone very soon. In closing, I just have a small memory from my first year teaching, my first day teaching in 1995. In 1995, I was a first year teacher at Garfield Elementary. On the very first day, Dr. White, our superintendent, came in my classroom and gave me a beautiful rose. I was truly surprised and honored to be given a flower by the superintendent. And then I was showcased in the Ponca City newspaper. I felt overwhelmed and a little bit undeserving to get such a special treat from such an important man. And today, 20 years later, I would be so honored to receive flowers if they're given tonight by Dr. Pennington. Still a little overwhelmed and a little undeserving. However, before the end of the night, I would love for my Liberty friends to accept those flowers, pose for a perfect picture, and maybe they'll make it on the front page of the Ponca City News. Much love to all of you. I hope you've had a great night, and I can't say thanks enough for the special honor. Thank you, Ponca City.
Christie, how are you in San Antonio? Can you hear me? I just want to let you know that you are our 2016 Teacher of the Year. Well, thank you, and we wish you were here. Show her that. Obviously, you guys can't tell from here, but there are tears of joy on Christie's face. Again, thank you, Christie. Passion, immersion, rapport, ask and analyze, transformation, enthusiasm. You know, sometimes you get lucky when you make a decision, and obviously I think when the decision was made that this would be, our theme would be Teach Like a Pirate, we happened to pick something that I think Christie is a great model of. I think we saw that in the video that we just had. I first met Christie when I was superintendent in Blackwell. And we actually attended the same church, and her classroom was one of the first classrooms I visited when I came to Ponca City. And I remember walking away after that first visit, and the thought I had then is the same thought I have every time I've been in Christie's classroom. And that is that I walked out of the classroom of a master teacher. And we are so fortunate to have Christie Brown. But you know, the acronym PIRATE is not only a description of Christie. It's a description of so many of the teachers that work in our school district who don't let the frustration of working under No Child Left Behind, of working on rules imposed by the State Board of Education or laws passed by the legislature, interfere with their passion for learning, the relationship they build with students, the enthusiasm they create for learning in their classrooms, that is critical if we are to transform the lives of the children that attend the Ponca City schools. As president of AASA, the School Superintendent Association, I've had the opportunity to travel across the nation and throughout the world this year on behalf of the nation's 13,000 superintendents and the public schools that they serve. After each trip, I come home impressed more than ever with the faculty and administration that we have here in Ponca City. Our children are truly blessed because of the teachers that we have. Our community is blessed. And I know that sometimes it's hard when you're in the middle of something to appreciate the greatness that you live with every day. And so for the teachers and administrators and the audience, I just want to say thank you on the behalf of our community and on behalf of our children for the wonderful job that you do every day for the children in Ponca City, Oklahoma. In closing, I just have a couple little, advertisements. We'd like to remind our teaching staff that tomorrow from 3:30 to 5, the East Grand Administration Building will be open if you'd like to take a tour. And then for the community, the building will be open Sunday from 2 to 4. And I also want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that on Monday night, our board made the decision to swap a snow day out so that our teachers would be able to participate in the rally on March 30th in support of public education. You know, I want to encourage everybody in this room to attend. It's important. It's important that we continue the work that we started last year to make sure that our legislature understands unequivocally that the school of choice, the education of choice in Oklahoma, is public education. And that we cannot continue to serve our children without funding, and we cannot continue to serve our children without a quality teacher in every classroom. And that cannot happen under our current economic and funding situation. And we're also tired of testing kids to death. That we think education ought to be about learning, and it ought to be about experiences, and it ought to be about the relationships that teachers create with children outside of the pressure that we impose on kids with all the testing that we do. And the joy that we've taken out of learning, not only for our teachers, but mainly for our students. It has to stop. March 30th will go a long way to driving that message home to the people that we've elected to represent us. So please, I encourage you, if you have to take a personal day at work, if you have to find, I know babysitting is an issue, I understand that. But it's critical that we have a larger turnout than we had last year. because I promise you, if we only have 20,000 people there instead of 25,000, then the message that will be spun in the statewide media and among those in the legislature who are not supporters of public education will be, well, it's obvious that they don't really care as much as they act like they did, or as much as they did last year. We have to have a larger turnout. We have to do that on March 30th. Again, thank you for your time. We appreciate your attendance at the banquet. Please, if you're obviously take some time to shake the hands and congratulate all the Teacher of the Year candidates. Again, on behalf of the Board of Education, I just want to say thank you again for all you do for the children of our school district. Good night.